What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Tech MLB DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. Joined once again by the GOAT, the true OG, Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie with 8 Ds. Paulie, what's happening?
What's happening, man? What's going down? What you doing in the DMs?
You know, just burning fingers and shit, man. Making that vodka sauce, and let it simmer in, and then I go to mix, and then that thing pops, and then I got, shit fucking hurts, man.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was that bad until I got in the shower. That's when that's when you know that hot water hits it. If you don't know, it's a good thing. If you don't know, it's a good thing. Anyway, we've got good thing we have a football game. Although, as we were saying before, it's not the best. It's not the prettiest football game because this baseball slate is pretty ugly. Thoughts?
Indeed. Okay. Yeah, I agree. They're both kind of good.
Yeah. I guess it's just an ugly kind of day. We do have we do have one game on the baseball slate that has some weather. I think it's Miami-Atlanta game. It sounds pretty bad. Sounds pretty bad. So Kevin Roth says it is without a doubt going to be wet in Atlanta tonight. Scattered showers are ongoing and will continue through the night. I expect off and on bouts of light rain with the potential for a few heavier batches mixed in. It's less of a what will the weather do and more of a what is the organization going to decide to do. Obviously, this is last week, Sunday, I think is the last regular season games for baseball. And the Marlins and Braves are both in the playoff picture, I believe. So, could be an important game. Or they just decide they don't want to do it. They have some time, I guess. They could do a doubleheader tomorrow or something, maybe. I don't know. But that's the one weather spot we have to keep an eye on. This slate could get even smaller if dirties are done there. With that said, Paulie, what are your overall thoughts?
Man, I don't know if I have many overall thoughts. It's quite ugly. I think you're gonna see Corbin Burns and Javier and Walker Buehler kind of be the three kind of popular pitchers. And, I thought the Braves were going to be popular. I guess now the bats.
Got to be the Dodgers.
Dodgers, yeah, I guess the Dodgers. I haven't looked at any ownership, but the one game that I think matters is St. Louis-Milwaukee, right? As of right now, St. Louis is in the playoffs. Milwaukee's on the outside looking in, and they're like a game and a half apart with like 3 to go. So that one has some interest. The ones that don't matter, it's a little harder to forecast at this point, but I think you play the teams that suck. You know what I mean? Like the Royals went off yesterday. Maybe it's the Tigers today. Maybe it's Baltimore. Maybe it's Texas. You know what I mean? Like I like Lance Lynn. I like the teams that suck and the teams that have something to play for.
Fair enough. Funny you say that about the Royals and Tigers. Those are two of my top 5 stacks today, and I'll get into why in a second. With that said, we'll get into to the pay-up pitchers. You mentioned Buehler. I think he's the only one that's a joke. Well, I guess Lance Lynn also. To discuss, you paying up for any of these guys?
Yeah, Lynn. Buehler, honestly, I'd rather stack against today. Although I don't love that, but if I had to choose, and I really don't think they let him go that deep. I think this is your typical Dodger. We pull him after the 5th, even if he's got a one-hitter going, because it's his last start before the playoffs. You just kind of get your reps and you get out of there. If he's chasing a great score, at some point he's gonna get cut off. It's gonna get cut off early. He's not gonna get a complete game shutout today. Just not the Dodger way. So I've got zero interest in him, and if anything, I think it'd be kind of smart to leverage against. Oakland has been not great offensively against righties, this kind of righty in particular, but you never know.
I'll let you, boy. Yeah, you see, I'm actually a little opposite. Lance Lynn's projecting to be more popular than Buehler. I think a lot of people. This is Buehler's first start in 2 weeks. He was on the IL because of finger blisters. He was just starting to look good again. Then he had the finger blister issue. He did throw a bullpen recently or simulated game, whatever, through 90 pitches. So I think he'll throw at least 90 pitches. And with his kind of upside, I think that could end up being the highest actual score on the slate when you look at the other pitchers we have, considering Lance Lynn's against Houston. That's not to say I don't like Lance Lynn. I definitely will have some exposure, but I kind of like the idea that Buehler's slipping down ownership here. I mean, looking at some ownership projections, I've seen Corbin Burns, Bubic, Javier, Lance Lynn, and Buehler behind them. I mean, it's pretty ugly after that. So it seems to me like he's the last named pitcher that guys are going with today. And that may not be even the case. But I think a lot of people have some uncertainty with Walker Buehler. And bottom line is Buehler hasn't been as good this year as he was in years past. So if this is legitimate, then I definitely want to be overweight on Buehler, considering Lance Lynn is playing Houston, a team that, while they haven't been great, they are tough to strike out. And also the roof is open in Globe Life Park. It's only about 78 degrees, so it may not matter that much. But the roof is open there, and every time they've opened the roof, we've seen one of the teams kind of score. It hasn't been the Rangers, but we'll talk about them in a second because yesterday they finally actually scored some runs. What about the mid-tier?
So I really like Lance Lynn. I think the Astros suck. They're in the playoffs, but they don't got no, we're going to ball out kind of risk. The East is pretty much already set, and I think Lynn does the dirty to them, and I think he'll definitely be lower than Walker Buehler. I don't care what fucking some projector says. Walker Buehler is going to be more popular, so I like Lance Lynn. And then in the mid tier, I do think Burns is good. He's just been awesome this year. He's kind of like the poor man's. What's the dude on Washington?
What, Scherzer?
Yeah, he's a poor man's Max Scherzer. Throws that smoke, big swinging strike rate. Hasn't given up a home run in 8 starts. He's pretty damn good. But he's gonna be chalky on this slate. I mean, if you play him, you definitely got to mix him with the weird teams. I got no interest in Kwang Hyun Kim. Matter of fact, if I had to pick, I'd go with both these offenses. No to Javier, no to Lopez, no to Cobb, yes to Fires. What are you doing about Martin Perez?
Probably not. I'll probably try my luck with the Orioles stack against them. I just can't stomach myself pitching him, man. Just can't do it. I mean, he's had 2 good games. Did well against the Yankees. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't use him against the Yanks last week, definitely not using him against Baltimore today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, he was, speaking of which, your Yankees immediately went cold as soon as he hit the road. Immediate. Which is a them thing to do. We've seen them do that, a lot. Anyway, I think, like you said, Burns is going to be extremely popular. Obviously, he's the guy. I mean, this guy has the best xFIP on the slate, highest strikeout rate on the slate. If you're looking at small samples, which is this season, Burns is the best pitcher on the slate. So it's hard to make an argument against him. The Cardinals have been terrible. They've just been bad. So, and like you said, Milwaukee's on the outside looking in, so they're probably he's been their best pitcher. They're probably gonna just let him see what he could do. So I like him. He's one of the chalkier pieces I will be playing. Javier, it's I'm okay with because there's just not a lot of options. I don't want to just say, oh yeah, there's just 2 pitchers, let's go get it, and that's it. So I'll consider Javier, but I do think that the Rangers are kind of interesting. That's going to go one of 2 ways. I feel like it's kind of pivotal because I do think Javier will be popular because of his price, and the last time he had a good game was against the Rangers. So I think that either Javier is going to put up that 20 again because the Rangers are terrible, and maybe you needed him because of how bad the pitchers are here, or he does really bad, and the Rangers are the stack you end up needing to win everything because nobody's playing them because they're either leaving him alone or playing Javier. So I actually think that's a pretty pivotal spot on the slate that I'm going to make sure to get exposure to both sides. I think that's it. I'm not really interested in Kim. His strikeout rate's low. The Brewers don't strike out as much against lefties. It was really Corbin Burns kind of on an island for me in the mid-tier, especially with Ian Anderson and Pablo. The weather that we have there, it just doesn't sound very good. What are your thoughts on Bubic today? He's projecting as the SP2 pairing with Burns against Detroit. Any interest in him today?
Yeah.
What are you doing there?
No, I'm gonna be on the Tigers' bats.
I'm going to be on the Tiger bats also, and it's not just because, it may provide leverage and be contrarian if Bubic is popular, but it's more so because the Tigers are actually second in WRC plus against lefties this year, second behind the White Sox, with a 139, I believe it was, a 188 ISO, and a 376 WOBA against lefties this year. So that sounds like, to me, especially if we're assuming Bubic's going to be popular, that means the Tigers are going to go very low owned. It just seems like a good situation to invest in a shitty team that has really good numbers against lefties. And obviously the Royal Bullpen. The Royal Bullpen hasn't been as bad this year as it has in years past, but it's really just one. It's like one or two guys they have that have been any decent. Like that Stalmont dude's got some nasty shit. They still got a lot of fucking, shit in there, I guess. Yes. So we're both on the Tigers. With that said, Paulie, I'm with you on Bubic. Like I'll have some just because I'm doing 100 teams, so I'm gonna have a little bit, but I'm taking a larger stance on the Tigers. I do think in cash games, Bubic and Burns is the two pairings. Just eat the chalk and do the block and get different somewhere else, Because if Bubic does do well, which is possible, the Tigers do suck, then, in cash games, you just took a chance that was unnecessary and you're fucked. Anyway, on to the bats, Paulie. We talked about the Tigers already. Who else are you looking to stack?
The Rangers against Javier. The Orioles against Martin Perez. And the St. Louis Milwaukee game stack.
My bad. Say that again.
Tigers, Rangers, Orioles, and a Milwaukee St. Louis game stack.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, I'm with you on the Tigers, obviously. I like the Royals also. They're going to start off against Fulmer. And then I think Tyler Alexander. Either way, anytime you get a bullpen game from the Tigers, you're going to be interested. On top of that, I expect the Royals to be fairly low owned because if you looked at the pricing on DraftKings, like they kind of priced up the guys you want. Adalberto Mondesi, Sal Perez, Whit Merrifield, all over 5K. So I think that's another way to get different. If you did want to pitch more chalky pitchers or you wanted to go with that mid-tier low, which seems to be a common theme for tonight, there are a stack that's a thing you can get a little different with. Funny you mentioned the Rangers. I agree that's kind of a pivotal spot, so I'll definitely make sure to get some exposure to them as well. The Dodgers are the chalk tonight. If Mike Fiers, they actually haven't done as well against Mike Fiers as you would think, but he's just another one of those troll-type pitchers. I'm okay with getting some exposure to the Dodgers, but just for the sake of having some. But I do think on a small slate, you're just better off. If you're going to play the Dodgers, you got to get different at pitcher. You got to do something. And yeah, the Orioles against Perez, right? Because just because the Yankees couldn't do it doesn't mean the O's can't. In all seriousness, a lot of these guys actually have decent numbers against Perez. Hanser Alberto, I think Pat Vallega actually had decent numbers. There was a couple other ones too, if I forget off the top of my head. But I'm going to take some shots with the Orioles too, looking for that low ownership. Any interest? Now, Cobb's been a big troll, but the Red Sox have actually... There's some pretty good BVIP there against Cobb. Like he's been one guy that, I'm not saying he hasn't pitched well against him in the past, but there's been some BVIP there. And the Red Sox have actually been hot. The last 2 days, the Braves and the Red Sox are just, winning people money. Not named CK.
Yeah. Not really. I mean, I get it. Alex Cobb sucks and he usually gets hit deep, but, you got to take a stand somewhere, and I'm making mine on the worst teams in baseball, the Rangers, the Tigers, and the Orioles.
Let's go. Worst teams in baseball. That's the key to success around here. It's funny, but it's true. Nation, if you have any questions, go ahead and get them in there. Please hit the like button. We are doing a little contest action, or a little giveaway, $20 giveaway, trying to stake somebody in the Millie Maker. It's $20, man. So go check out our Twitter at @wise_take. Make sure that you follow the instructions. It's pinned on the top of the Twitter at @wise_take. And get your name in the hat, man. Get your name in the hat. Why not? Who? $20.
How fucking wild would that be if that person won with the single bullet entry?
Yes, that would be phenomenal. That would be glorious. It would be truly something. And I would feel almost like that was a donation in some way. I'd be like, we did that, bro. We did that. We gave this guy that.
Yeah.
Or girl that $20.
Probably be.
Yeah, I hit it.
Really happy for you.
Yeah.
But really sad for myself.
I hear it. All right, let's get into home runs, and if there's any questions, we'll answer. But if not, we'll get out of here. So, who's going deep today?
Sal Perez.
Sally P. I'll go with. It's funny because you try to think of a tiger, and you're like, which tiger do I really think? It's kind of like the Solano situation. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bunch of Solanos, like, you know. But I think I'll go with Miggy, man. I'll go with Miggy.
All right. I'll take Joey Gallo.
I will go with. Let's go with Rafael Devers.
Deverino. Doing I think I'll take I honestly don't even remember his first name, so I can tell you him, but Taylor guy on Milwaukee. What's his first name?
Taylor guy on Milwaukee. Oh yeah, Tyrone. Tyrone, bro.
Tyrone.
We finally got a Tyrone, man. You can't forget that name.
Yeah, I think that's nah, it's not. Keep going.
What we got? One more pick here. I'll go with I'll go Nico Goodrum. There's a guy that can hit a home run, and I'll pick another Tiger because I'm really hoping that works. Let's see.
I would say Brandon Dixon would go long.
He's definitely got the potential. He's also like he's got the potential, but he's got to do it quick though, because the minute a righty comes in, you know that dude may come out because he's not like young to where like they need to play him, but he's not like, you know, and they're not playing for shit anyway. What do they care?
He's old.
I don't think he's that young. I mean, he's been around. I know he's with the Reds for a few years. Kept popping. I mean, that's the thing with baseball players, bro. You could be a 28-year-old rookie, like 29-year-old rookie, like all the time. That shit happens. You know, like you never know, man.
That's the guy. That's the guy who was on the Reds.
Yeah, he was a lefty specialist. Only played against lefties, and then he would get pinch hit. That was with the Reds. But the Tigers have treated him similarly, but they're trying to get their younger guys, you know, guys that we haven't seen. I mean, that's why the Tigers have so many guys you never heard of. Funny Videos has a question. Who are you stacking with Vasquez and Bogarts? JD or Alex Verdugo? Who are you stacking with Vasquez?
Definitely.
Definitely JD. But if you're already doing a 3-man stack, I say throw in a fourth and get Verdugo in there. But if I had to pick one, yeah, I'd say JD. Right? It's JD Martinez. JD freaking Martinez. Verdugo has been a little hot, though. Just going to say. Get that. I don't see any other questions, Nation. I know we're winding down baseball. Tomorrow is actually the last MLB show of the season. So we'll still continue to provide content at wisec.com, projections, cheat sheets, all that goodness through the regular season Sunday. But it'll be the last actual Wise stream tomorrow. So enjoy your football game tonight. Paulie and I broke down the one-game slate last night. Paulie, anything in closing before we get up out of
here? No, man. Brandon Dixon, he was on the Reds, but he was a rookie in 2018. So you were right. I was right.
Everybody wins.
We're all right.
For Paulie D, for myself, the entire Wise Tech Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.